Growtopia is a massively multiplayer online sandbox game currently handled by Ubisoft Abu Dhabi, but as it stands today, the game has a pretty big problem, ranging from moderators which just don't do their job, bots invading every corner of the game, a rapidly inflating economy, and more. But to understand how this even happened, we need to go all the way back to when Growtopia was in development. The story begins with two good developer friends, Seth Robinson and Hamumu, also known as Mike Homo. Before Growtopia, Seth and Mike already knew each other for nearly 20 years, but it wasn't until Seth had the idea for Growtopia, originally called Willow, where Seth decided to partner up with Mike. Seth will do the programming, and Hamumu will be doing the game's art and assets, and after just 3 months of development, the game will go into beta access, where it gained quite a lot of attention. Eventually though, the game had its full release on January 9th, 2013, with also having versions for iOS and Windows, making it even more accessible than before. And well, the game kept being developed, but before we continue, I need to explain the game's economy to you. The game's economy revolves around wall logs, which is an item used to, well, log walls, but it also doubles as a currency. For example, a rare item, like some wings, will cost 15 wall logs. There were also diamond logs. The reason they exist is since you can only hold up to 200 wall logs in your inventory, you could turn 100 wall logs into one diamond log, letting you hold more value in your inventory for bigger purchases. For example, a Grosscan 9000 is 4800 wall logs, meaning you could pay for it with 48 diamond logs. In February 28, 2017, the company Ubisoft acquired Growtopia. Now, what is originally meant for the game was just for all of the aspects to be improved, but as we all know, this didn't go as planned. At first, after the Growtopia acquisition, it was going alright, but that's because for the early days, Seth and Hamumu were overlooking what Ubisoft was doing and still somewhat working on the game. But eventually, Seth and Hamumu left Ubisoft to do their own thing with the game, and yeah, it wasn't looking good. The game's economy was rapidly inflating, and it's mostly due to Ubisoft's extremely poor handling of the game. For starters, gambling is banned in Growtopia, that includes casino walls, where you can gamble your wall logs for the chance of winning even more wall logs than what you originally had. And one of the ways casino owners advertise their walls is through botting, which is just you add a bot to a random wall and let it repeat the same phrase over and over again in the chat, telling you about some casino wall. And do you know what the moderators do about the casinos and the bots? Nothing. Well, kinda. They sometimes ban casinos, but that's about it. They ban one and like 10 more show up. There's also the fact that they don't try to do anything to balance the economy and just keep on allowing it. Hell, I even have the theory that they just do this so people will buy more in-game stuff, so Ubisoft can milk the game as much as possible. And honestly, I think the game is way past its salvation. As much as I would like to see the game come back to its former glory like the next guy, I don't think it's ever going to happen, unless Ubisoft rollbacks everyone's data to what it was back in 2017, which obviously isn't happening. Plus, the bot problem is like really bad. Sure, when you enter the game, it may say 70,000 people are playing the game right now, which on paper, it sounds really good. That will easily put you in the top 50 most played games on the Steam charts. But if we don't count the bots, it will be around 10,000 players. So like, yeah. Sure, someone could make a private server / revival of the game, but handling a game of such size as Growtopia, it will take a lot. Plus, there's no knowing how Ubisoft will handle an exact replica of Growtopia with their code that's taking away players. So I don't think we're ever going to see a Growtopia revival. Sure, Growtopia may be way beyond its glory days, but it was fun while it lasted. I did meet a lot of good friends on Growtopia, which I don't really talk to anymore, but it was fun anyways. And at the end of the day, we all move on to different games. There's obviously a lot I missed in this video, but that's the general gist of it. And yes, this is what Ubisoft is doing instead of making the next Rayman game. Goodbye.